Welcome, welcome. Would be the last episode, chapter 10. Technically it is, because it is the last chapter. But, since PlayStation, well, I wouldn't say PlayStation. I guess Square doesn't allow us to, record the entire ending. The actual ending won't be in this video, it'll be in the next one once I, upload that one. Which should probably be, right after this, because I want to try to keep them, really close together, but I'll iterate more after this cutscene.
Dumb apples only grow in Benora.
Why is that?
Something to do with the soil here, apparently.
Genesis always carried a dumb apple with him. I should have realized sooner. It looks so different now. Can I leave Cloud with you?
Yes.
What?
Yeah, so as I was saying, so it'll get to the bit where where the ending's about to start, and then it just ends because I couldn't record it. So I have another way I'm going to do it, so I'm going to do it that way, and then I'll upload it after this episode. I just wasn't sure if I was able to actually record it and then attach it to attach it to this video. So I just upload it on its own. It'll be its own thing. It'll just be the ending. And then I'm also, while I'm doing it, it'll also have my overpowered fights, of the final boss and stuff, so you can actually see. But this one will have the final fights in it as well, and you'll see it as my character is now leveled now, and then I'll have also the other bit where my character is beefed up and stuff. But yeah,
Benora white juice. First prize processed foods. National Agriculture Awards. Oh, wow. The idea for this juice came from a Benora youth named Genesis. Wow. Just wow. Young Genesis's comments. I am very honored. Benora white juice tastes great, but the fruit itself is tasty too. My dream is for my parents and I to serve the hero Sephiroth our apples one day. Genesis. Is there anything I can do?
Yeah, which I think will help. Or which I think we'll be able to kill two birds with one stone, so that way I can actually show, which I intended to do. I wanted to see what happens when you actually grind a little bit, which I grinded enough to fight Minerva, which is the super boss of the game, and I defeated her and everything like that. So yeah, so my character will be incredibly strong. So I'll have both that and then the ending in the next video. So I do apologize for people who were looking to see the whole ending, but I will have the whole bit. Look at Odin coming in clutch here. Yeah, so a lot of this is going to be sped up. I get killed by this because these enemies were actually really strong. I wasn't expecting them to be as strong as they were, so I ended up putting on the HP plus again because I think I took it off. I'm not sure. And then I keep putting it on every time I get one shot by these enemies. But all of this is going to be fast forward basically, just to show you kind of me doing the dungeon crawl and all that stuff. Yeah, at least then you get to see it, even if it is super fast. I think this area, I don't know, there was some treasure chests in here, but it seemed mostly just a different side area or something like that where you could fight these really strong enemies. It wasn't, and there was a part of this dungeon I actually ended up not going through, which was you had to unlock this gate or something. It's in this area, and I didn't find the key, so I don't end up actually opening up the door that you can unlock in here. Yeah, which would be this right here. You need the key to open that up, and I didn't find it because I didn't like. I guess I didn't like explore thoroughly enough. I did it enough. It was kind of like more of a, you know, a brush over. There's a trophy for it too. See, because this is actually the end area. Would have died here too. Maybe a few deaths in here. Oh, look, there's two right there. These damn bombs are giving me trouble. These enemies are giving me trouble. Yeah, so like what you would do is like you grab all the orbs and then you put them in here.
Some kind of console? The pedestal has 7 indentations.
Which opens the door that you can, which leads you into the final. Yeah, give for the goddess materia. The path should be made clear.
Materia in these indentations, that door will open. Is that it?
Yeah, so you need the light materia, heaven materia, ground, star, life, being, and Sabbath. They're all here somewhere. Very easy to find. If you just explore, you'll actually find them, which is what I did. So pretty much if you just like, if you did everything that I did just before getting here, you should have all the orbs. And then there's like some other areas that you can explore too. You have to fight this annoying enemy. Oh my. Oh my. I remember this fight. This dude was such a pain in the ass. Yeah, like he killed me almost right away. So I'm like, alright, try to switch it. Try to switch things around, stay alive and whatnot. And this dude just kept like absolutely wrecking me and stuff. I started to make a little bit more progress on that, but I still died in that fight. And I left these in here. Like, I fast forwarded these fights because it was just me dying repeatedly. And it was me just like... And I was getting increasingly irritated because I was like, am I seriously going to have to grind just to fight this guy? Because I haven't really been doing any grinding, as I mentioned in earlier episodes. I mostly just played through the side missions once or twice, and then just, you know... And nothing was giving me really trouble up until this part. Up until, well, those bombs. Those bombs gave me a little bit of trouble. But this guy was almost like the true test. No boss gave me any trouble. More than this guy did. And so I'm like, this dude is pissing me off. I'm like, do I really have to, like, grind to fight this guy? I'm starting to think, I'm like, what the hell do I gotta do? Because this dude's lightning was just killing me. It was just nuking me. Now I'm mad. So now we slow it down because now it's all like, I was like, oh, what's gonna happen here? I'm gonna win the fight, right? If I'm showing it. I had some guard there, so it looks like... I know, and he's hyper aggressive too. Yeah, it was that Tri-Thundiga or whatever that he was doing. That thing was just murking me. And then his fire... I think his fire spell was also killing me too, but you can see how aggressive he is. Yeah, the fire guy was also doing work on me too. Like if he hits me with all 3 of the bolts, it was almost like it just one-shot me. And this dude's like hyper aggressive, so I'm trying to up the pressure, but I can't, so it felt like I was on defense all the time. You know? This guy was just like really, really aggressive. Just absolutely... Every time I tried to get on the offensive, he would just hit me. And I was trying to figure out what I could do, but then I guess I just made myself immune pretty much at this point. Like, so I just sit there and tank his Thundiga or whatever. Like that was the thing that was really killing me. So I think I gave myself the immunity to thunder. Yeah, see, as you can see now, now I can just sit there and just go toe to toe with him without having to worry about trying to dodge the thunder attack. Yeah, I tried Thundiga. So I guess the fire spell wasn't as dangerous as I thought it was, because I don't think I put any protection for that. I'm trying to make sure he doesn't do a whole lot of damage with that attack. Yeah, I figured, I was like, yeah, I'll just sit here and tank his attacks and then just... Because, yeah, once his thunder was you know, basically nullified, he wasn't as dangerous. And then this happened. A blessing from the gods again, you know. The second time this happened, the blessing, Odin come and blessed me. I rarely saw him after this. It's kind of funny. I rarely got Odin after these two encounters. It was like they saw that I was struggling with this dude, and it was almost like they just gifted it to me. They're just like, here you go. Here's your one shot. You're welcome. Because I was really content with just, you know, slowly whittling away his health. And I realized too, I was like, man, these enemies are like, they beefed up the tankiness on them. They just, oh, I did put a flame. I gave me a protection, both flame and thunder. Basically just nullified his magic. And, you know, obviously his physical attacks weren't one-shotting me, so I could just easily just heal if I needed to. That's just putting on whatever I had on before.
The elevator's not here yet.
I think you can get to this elevator a different direction. Like if you explored a little bit more, probably that area where you fight that behemoth would be. So yeah, what I do here is I save, and then I ended up
Genesis is up ahead.
I don't think I
I'm
did.
sure of it.
Oh yeah, I did. I actually did, cause I remember I went in there to go fight this boss, and I ended up dying, cause I saw how much health he had, and whew, it was a struggle. So I ended up doing some grinding. So I did some grinding just for this fight. Not a whole lot, but I did enough. And you'll see the changes in this fight once we get to it.
In my own salvation. You're late.
Loveless again.
You have succeeded, Angeal's spirit, and carry a part of Sephiroth within you. Thus, the three friends are reunited once again. And Loveless is reenacted.
No! Open your eyes, Genesis!
When the war of the beasts brings about the world's end.
I've come here to help you.
The goddess descends from the sky. Wings of light and dark spread afar. She guides us to bliss, her gift everlasting.
What is that?
The gift of the goddess. A heavenly boon found only in Benora.
I thought the cells were the gift.
There are various interpretations.
I don't understand.
To ponder the mystery is in itself a gift. We will all join the life stream. You are no exception. The planet has become my guardian.
Keep talking to me. Don't let it take over. You're not a monster. You're one of us. Damn you!
Yeah, and since like I was playing on hard mode, I actually did have like, well, I didn't have to, but I chose to grind because it wasn't that like I couldn't do this fight. I could have. It was just really, really difficult. Like, I'll give it that. It was actually like yeah, now you're seeing how much damage. Now see, I got the break damage limit, so now I'm doing woo massive amounts of damage. See, because like what was happening before in this fight was he would summon these minions when I was doing the fight the first time, which I kind of feel like I should have kept it in there just so you can see, but I ended up cutting it out. But anyways, yeah, when I was doing those fights, I spent most of my time fighting the minions than I did fighting the boss, so it was taking a lot of time, you know, so that wasn't necessarily the problem. It was just that like I would finally just run out of resources or whatever, you know, or I would just like, it was almost like the battle of attrition and I lost, you know. I would just lose because they had more resources at their disposal, you know what I mean? Yeah, so even then, even with me leveling up, I was still kind of like, I still died. So I was like, alright. But I was like, now I know this is more doable. I got this figured out. You know, we could do this. Because I got my HP up, you know, so now I got like 11,000 HP instead of the 999. So I got the break HP limit, I got the break damage limit, so I'm doing like massive amounts of damage. And yeah, now I've got the electrocute spell, which is that spell is absolutely absurd. It's amazing. Not enough MP there. Only had one Phoenix down, so we got to make it count. But yeah, mostly like when I was doing the fight before, I was just spending all my time fighting these little minions, you know, just so I could actually focus on the boss. And I just wasn't killing them fast enough. That was kind of what it was. I just wasn't killing these guys fast enough. So I ended up doing a little bit of grinding. It wasn't too much, so the fight was still like, you know, tough, as you can see. The fight's still tough, but much more manageable than it was before. And I'm only saying this because like the only reason I grinded is because I'm playing on hard mode. I didn't play on hard mode when I beat this game like years ago, you know, on the PSP. Because you didn't need to. Actually, I don't even think this game had a hard mode. Did it? I don't remember. It has been a long time. Been a long time. But yeah, you never needed to grind in the PSP version because, you know, obviously like the combat was fine on the lower difficulties. The harder ones is obviously they give more health, you know, do more damage and stuff. Yeah, and then I got me a high jump as well. I believe I'm using high jump. High jump's amazing. Absolutely amazing ability. Allows you to just sit there, you just spam the hell out of it while, you know, you don't take any damage. But yeah, you see like how I'm doing 44,000 damage with that. I wasn't even breaking the damage limit. And still his health is only like a quarter of the way down. It's crazy how much health this boss has. But it's going to be very interesting to see when I actually come in here with my super beat up character and see how this fight goes. I can't wait. Yeah, but this is actually most of the video, is this fight, this boss fight. It's like once I finish this boss fight, all that's really left is, you know, the ending. Well, there's one more fight after this, and then there's like another bit. At this point, I had like a whole lot of resources too. It was crazy because I hardly ever really used items in my fights. Never really needed to, you know. Never really needed to use somas. I used ethers. Like I have those flashes where I do high amounts of damage. I even got Quake too, yeah. I got Quake as well, but I don't end up using it. Oh wait, as I say that, I used Quake. Awesome. Awesome. But Electrocute is always like the go-to spell. Electrocute's amazing. Massive damage, big AoE too as well. Multi-hit as well. Very great for crowds. Yeah, I was like, I actually think I decided on what the next project was gonna be. I think I was gonna do Persona 4 Golden. I know I kind of had mentioned that I was gonna do something else a while ago, but then I ended up changing my mind on it. And I was like, I've been debating because like I'm trying to find like this game to play right now because I've just been in like this weird conflux, and I started up Persona 5 or not 5, sorry. Which I do want to do Persona 5. I kind of had like a challenge I wanted to do, but I know some people have done this challenge like plenty of times before, you know, like, you know, solo, you know, Joker only type thing. I know there's like a lot of people who have probably done that, so it's not like it's going to be anything original, you know. But I think it'd be cool. I would love to do that actually. Just a solo Joker on Merciless or something like that. That would be interesting. But I'm wondering if I should do it if New Game is... I'm pretty sure like New Game is viable. But I think for the most part people do it on New Game Plus, I think. Just cause like... I don't know. I think on New Game it would be... I would try it. I don't know if I'll record it, but I'll just give it a try and see how it works out. You know. But... yeah, there wasn't really much I could say about this fight. That's why I'm talking about other things right now. Getting Phoenix, that's also helpful. Because then cause me only having the one Phoenix down, this helps a lot. Gives me the, the rebirth. So if I do end up dying, plus it does a lot of damage. Look at that. Nice. But yeah, like I started playing Persona 4, and I'm gonna be actually honest with that. I actually have not played Persona 4. I know that's crazy, cause I knew about it, and I've always wanted to play it, but I never really got the chance to. Like I have it on PC as well,
Hey, Bruno.
and I never started playing it, and I never got it on like the PSP or something like that. So I never ended up playing Persona 4. But I always heard everybody heaping praise at it and stuff, and it was always a game I was interested in playing, but I just never really found the time to play it or get the proper hardware to play it, you know. And then considering that they released it on the PS3, was it the PS3? Yeah, it was the PS3. I didn't have the PS3 until very late in its life cycle, you know. That was like back when like The Last of Us was coming out, you know, and The Last of Us came out like towards the end of the PS3's life cycle. That's when I ended up getting one, because I mostly played on the 360 during that generation. So yeah, even when like they had Persona 4 on the PS3, which I have that version too as well. So like I have like multiple versions of Persona 4, but I've never actually played it up until now when they released it on the PS5, when I was like, you know what, I think I want to record that, because, you know, I want to check it out. So it's going to be kind of cool. People are going to see me get to play the game blind, you know. It's going to be interesting. I'm thinking like when I do record some episodes, I might do some live commentaries for it, so I can actually do like some live reactions to it. But yeah, so that's why I haven't been like super hardcore on recording. I've only done like maybe like the first couple hours of the intro. So I only really have like one party member, and I haven't even used it yet. So I've done like one boss fight. That's as far as I've gotten into the game so far. So it's not very far, but I've decided I think I want to start playing that. I think it's time. I've been looking for an RPG, you know, an RPG to play off my backlog, to be honest. Give me something new to do. Give me some new experiences. Cause I was one of those people who absolutely loved Persona 5. You know, like who didn't really? I'm sure there's some people who didn't, but I actually love Persona 5, so I know that I'm gonna enjoy Persona 4. There's no problem there. There's a lot of people say that game, they like that game more, I think. I don't know which one people actually generally love more out of 4 and 5. And I haven't played 3. I'm still debating on whether or not I wanted to get that one. But I saw that port wasn't exactly that great. The one on the one that just came out for the PS4. I heard that port wasn't as good. Cause it's like it's not the actual like the good version of it or something. It was this other version that was less like that wasn't as superior. So I haven't decided whether or not I wanted to buy that yet. I might. But I'm just like I'm waiting for some more money to come in to get like Dead Space Remake because I absolutely want to play that. So I've heard all these good things about it. And Dead Space is amazing and I wanted to play it. Ah, crap, cutscene, so I can't really talk. We'll continue this after.
Corrupted by vengeance. Have endured torment to find the end of the journey in my own salvation. And your eternal slumber.
Does this mean you knew from the beginning?
Stand and fight, soldier first class. Zack!
Why is everyone always pushing things on me?
Yep, so now we have our last fight with Genesis in his humanoid form. He's not a giant. It's weird, you'd think that they would have had this fight before? Maybe? I don't know. I guess they thought that this fight would be a little bit more interesting. It actually kind of is. This one feels more like the Sephiroth fight in Nibelheim, to be honest. Where he has some dangerous attacks. You know, I actually rather enjoyed this fight because that armored fight is actually rather slow and long and boring.
You lost him, huh?
Cisne?
It was just like, it was just him slamming his sword in the ground and then he would swipe the sword and then he'd summon the minions. It was basically just his rinse and repeat, you know, kind of boss. This one was a lot more interesting because at least then he was like, he did combos and stuff, he threw magic at you and, you know, and then he had like some dangerous attacks you had to watch out for, you know, learn his patterns and stuff. Yeah, so it was a lot more interesting fight. But anyways, yeah, I was like, as I was saying, that like I've been trying to just wait for some more money to, yeah, because, you know, see, he has that ability where it killed me. His sword looks really cool though. I'll give him that. His sword looks pretty nice. I like it, it's all lit up and stuff. It's really cool looking. But yeah, I was waiting to, you know, get some money to get Dead Space Remake, you know, and then I was thinking of getting Wild Hearts as well. I've heard some good things about Wild Hearts as well. I love Monster Hunter. I play Monster Hunter. I don't know, I haven't done any Monster Hunter content. Because mostly, like, I play Rise on the PC. I don't think I'm gonna get the PS5 version. Just cause, like, there's no cross-save. Which is a shame. I think there might be? I think it might have been different. I know Monster Hunter World didn't have cross-save or I would have gotten it on PC. I just stuck on the PS4 version of it. Because, you know, just having to start over again. That's always the worst part, is like starting over on a Monster Hunter game. Because when you get to the end game, which is like the best part of Monster Hunter games, you know, when you're at the fashion bit of Monster Hunter, you know, you're building up your armor sets, you know, making your weapons for your, you know, for your hunts and stuff, making your builds for your hunts. It's always the best part. Best part of the game, you know, the end game. But yeah, like I would do Monster Hunter content, but you know, I'm not one of those people who's like a super, I guess you could say really good at the game, you know. So like, I don't do like speedrun fights or anything like that. I mostly when I played, I did like hunts with randoms and stuff. So that's just usually what I did, and that will end the actual final boss of the game. Now we have like a bunch of cutscenes. Actually, you know what? I just realized, because I just heard the ringing in the background. So I'm just going to talk over these cutscenes because I'm going to end up replaying this. I'm going to end up showing this bit in the next video. So I'll just talk over it because the ringing, I just noticed that. I can't believe I had this recording and it had the ringing in the background. It's so annoying that it does that, because it's like if I don't record with my mic turned on, I have to have my controller muted. It's weird, or it does this ringing noise in the background when I record. It's really obnoxious. So I didn't even realize that, so like no sense in watching these cutscenes with the ringing in the background. It would be so annoying to focus on. But anyways, yeah, so I'll just talk over it because I'm just going to end up doing this bit. I'm just going to end up having this bit be recorded in a better way anyways. So, and then you can actually enjoy the cutscenes. So, yeah, after that fight with Genesis, there's going to be all this stuff that happens with him. But yeah, anyways, I was like, but like as I was saying, like I'm not one of those like speedrun Monster Hunter guys. Mostly when I played with, I mostly played with like randoms and stuff. Just did like hunts with random people, which those could sometimes be a pain in the ass because if you get those people who don't really know what they're doing, they take all your carts and stuff, and then you can lose the mission and you won't even die. You won't even die once. And then like all your other teammates died and stuff, and it can get kind of frustrating, especially with the higher level hunts. With like the elder dragons and stuff, with the harder monsters and stuff. They're fun. Hell yeah, they're absolutely fun, 100% fun, but it's like I didn't really have like a dedicated group to play Monster Hunter with because, you know, a lot of people on my friends list, on my PlayStation friends list, they're usually from Destiny and stuff, but they're not into those other games that I play outside of that, you know, like my Capcom games, my anime games, my JRPGs, which are single player obviously, but you know, for the most part they're not really into that stuff. So like I don't really have that dedicated group, you know, never really made those friends in there. And I never really like put forth the effort to make the friends in like Monster Hunter. I'm pretty sure I could have found some people to do like hunts with, but that always would have been cool to have like dedicated people to do some hunts with. But yeah, I was thinking like I wanted to play Wild Hearts because that looks immensely fun. I've heard pretty good things about it. And then like, you know, Octopath Traveler 2's coming out, and I played the demo with that, and I never got a chance to play Octopath 1, you know, on the Switch, because that was all it was on at the time. Was on the Switch, but I never got a chance to play that, but I got to play the demo, and now that they're bringing it to the PlayStation and, you know, other consoles, I got a chance to play the demo and absolutely loved it. You know, and I was always interested in playing Octopath 1 because I love the art style. It looks really cool. You know, it has like the old school art style for a lot of people who don't know what that game is. And it almost felt like this choose your own adventure type thing because you get to pick which character you start with out of like the 8 characters and stuff, but you can end up getting the other characters in your team as well and make your own team, your own dedicated team and stuff. It's freaking cool. Like, but you only got like 3 hours in the demo, and I wanted to play more, and I can't wait. I actually can't wait because I want to get that too as well. That comes out on the 24th, so that's awesome. A lot more games that ended up coming out that were good, that caught my attention that I wasn't expecting to play. Like, I was always interested in Dead Space 1. Like, I was interested in it, but I wanted to see what happens, because I wanted to see if EA went and did EA things with it, but they didn't. They actually didn't. EA's actually been kind of killing it this year so far. You know, the Dead Space comes out, and then they published Wild Hearts. They didn't, you know, develop it, but they published it, you know, because Koei Tecmo did it, which I heard was like the Dynasty Warriors developers and some Neo developers that did that game, Wild Hearts. Which is interesting because Dynasty Warriors is like one of my guilty pleasures. That's like one of my guilty pleasure games, you know, and stuff. They're stupid fun, but you know, they're the same game, you know, almost every game. They just add some like new heroes to it and stuff. Hack and slashes. But yeah, but I always had like fun times with them every now and then. Like guilty pleasure. I guess that wouldn't be really that something that would be that shameful to play, you know. I'm sure a lot of people play Dynasty Warriors. But yeah, like a lot of games that have been coming out in the early year that I was interested in, or and then a couple I wasn't. Like Wild Hearts I wasn't necessarily interested in. It wasn't on my radar. I didn't really know anything about it, truth be told. I didn't really look anything on it. So, you know, you see an EA game and you kind of tend to ignore them a little bit. You know, even though I am gonna get Jedi Survivor when that comes out. See, you know, that's going to be a third game from EA. EA's kind of like, are they pulling their heads out of their ass? We'll see. I don't know. Maybe them losing FIFA might change them. They might actually have to make games where they're realizing that single player games can actually be made and they don't even need to be monetized to hell and back. You know? Because you'd think with Wild Hearts they would try, but it is an EA Originals, which is completely different from, you know, their EA's main studios and stuff. And I hope me talking over all this dialogue is... like, you can actually hear me talking over all this dialogue. But, yeah, I do apologize that the ringing is in the background. Yeah, and so, like... yeah, so like so far this year's like kicking off pretty crazy, you know. And then I don't know if people have heard about that Hi-Fi Rush game. I've been watching, so I watched some streamers play that game, and people have been woo, made me want to get some Xbox Game Pass just to play that game. Looks really fun. So far 2023 has been, you know, pretty much bangers, you know, and then we got Resident Evil 4 is coming here really soon. That was the game that was like the first game of the year that I was really looking forward to until, you know, I played the demo to Octopath and, you know, saw some things with Wild Hearts and then Dead Space being as good as it is. And yeah, so it's just like, and then Resident Evil 4 is coming out. You know, us survival horror fans, we eating right now. We eating. And then oh yeah, this is an interesting bit. I actually thought this cutscene was new. I didn't remember it from the PSP version. Those are actually the Deep Ground guys from Dirge of Cerberus. Which was the hell was their names? Weiss and who's the dude? You fought him in the remake. You fight him in the Yuffie DLC, but I forget his name. I don't know how I forgot his name because they actually made him better. They made him better in that game, in the Yuffie DLC. Made him less cringy. Dirge of Cerberus, ugh, that game. Anybody who's played that game, woof. A bad game, and it's terrible too because, you know, Vincent's the main character in it. It's crazy, you know. You would think a game with Vincent being the main character would be a banger, but it was pretty meh overall. The story was pretty whack. So yeah, that's it. Oh yeah, you know, and we're supposed to be getting more news about Rebirth, you know, this year. Man, I can't wait for that. And then, you know, Final Fantasy 16's coming out, which is looking like an absolute banger. I can't wait for that too. It comes out this summer, so that's going to be a good period. That's going to be a good period of, you know, in the summer. Hopefully it's a really good game. And then, you know, getting that more news on Rebirth. I can't wait to see what they do, because, you know, when they showed the first teaser trailer, you know, where it was like, you know, Sephiroth and Cloud walking, you know, the flashback, you know, the Nibelheim flashback. It's gonna be crazy. I can't wait for it. And then, you know, I can't wait to see what they, you know, what they change with Vincent, Sid, Kate Sith, because you don't get to see the Moogle bit of Kate Sith. You only got to see the cat doll. So I don't know if they'll change them. I don't know if they'll change up Kate Sith or what they'll do with Kate Sith. What makes him interesting, you know, combat-wise. What makes Sid interesting combat-wise. What makes, you know, even Vincent interesting combat wise, or what they do, what they change, you know, what they change with them, or how like the party system's gonna work, how like if are they gonna do this thing where you're able to just swap out your party members on the fly in mid combat, you know, so you can sit there and you can be comboing with Yuffie or something, and then you switch out to Vincent mid combo, and then you know, switch that up. That'd be absolutely amazing. You know, I'm generally curious to see what they do with the gameplay to change it up to make it different from the remake, because you know they gotta like, you know, they got a really good foundation with Final Fantasy VII remake. You know, they can add to it and make it so, like even better. You know, and it's just gonna be interesting to see what they do with that. You know, and then like, I'm just curious what order they do, because I don't know if you've read like some of the articles around where like they've told you that you're gonna go to all the same places that you did in the original game. It's just that the order might be different, which is really cool, because now you're not sitting here going like, oh well, this is where we're gonna go next, because obviously they're gonna start in Calm, because it looks like they're gonna start in Calm, because the Yuffie DLC completely says that that's where they're headed first, you know. So obviously we're gonna start in Calm, and then after that, it's, you know, it's anybody's guess. It's like, well, where are we going next? You know, and it's gonna be interesting to see what they do with that. And I'm very, very interested. I'm not one of those people who are like, oh, I hate that they're changing things up. I'm actually rather excited. It's almost like playing Final Fantasy VII again for the first time. You know, because it's like, you know, I know these characters, I know the, you know, the lore, I know the world and stuff. And it's all interesting, and it's going to be interesting to see how, you know, things are going to, how the path is going to differ, but still ultimately be the same, you know what I mean? If that makes any sense. Because, you know, they're not going to change everything up that drastically. Like, it's not going to be like this completely different game and people are doomsaying. I just don't think that that's how it's going to be. I mean, obviously, the big change is that Zack is alive. And who knows what they're going to do with that. Like, I kind of think he's actually going to be playable in Rebirth. I think there's going to be sections of it where he will be playable. And I think he's going to have his own party. I'm thinking, yeah, he's going to have his own... He's going to have a completely different party than Cloud, you know? And that's going to be interesting because, you know, spoilers for anybody who didn't really like... Spoilers for anybody who didn't see the DLC, the Yuffie DLC. Was it in the Yuffie DLC? Yeah, where Zack goes to, you know, he goes back after he survives basically this fight right here that I'm doing right now. Hey, it actually fit. The conversation became topical. Oh yeah, those missiles. They're my favorite. Those helicopters just sit there and shoot missiles at you. Those are probably the most dangerous bit in the thing. But I think they're like that because I think this fight just keeps going until your HP runs out to a certain point or whatever. But anyways, but yeah, like, you know, Zack actually survives this thing. He goes back to the church to, you know, obviously because this is why he's going back to Midgard. He's trying to get, you know, get back to Aerith, you know. So he gets back to Aerith and finds out she's not there. And a lot of people are crying, which, you know, leaves this question that says, oh, is she dead? Is this a different timeline? Like, what is this, you know? Because it's telling you either that Zack is alive in the timeline, in the same timeline the Cloud's in, and Aerith is gone, but why would there be people at the church? You know, that's the difference, because there's people there crying and stuff. But anyways, like... You know, it leaves it like, well, is Zack alive in the same timeline? You know, us killing the plot ghost. It changed everything up, you know, and all that stuff, and then, you know, and or is it a different timeline where Aerith in that timeline is dead? You know, and it's interesting. I'm just interested to see what they do with it. It's, you know, and I'm not one of those people who absolutely hates it. So yeah, this is where the game just ends. Well, it doesn't just end, but yeah, they do this bit and then like this happens, but then the final cutscene doesn't happen, and then it'll get to the bit where I would love to talk more about it, but I kind of ran out of time. I could have spent all that time talking about what I think is gonna happen in Rebirth. But yeah, they'll play this cutscene out, and then like it'll end. It'll all of a sudden it'll just be like, do you want to save your progress? Like you just didn't get to see the rest of the thing. But I'll have that in the next video and whatnot. That's the only reason why I was talking over it now, so like when you're watching the next one, you can just enjoy the story bits. And yeah, but yeah, they do. Yeah, you'll do this bit. You try to swing your sword, but you can't because you're basically just winded. So you gotta wait it out until it happens. But then once that happens, I'll end the video off, and then I will go ahead and actually record. I'll go ahead and record that. I'll do it live, and then just upload it, and should have it uploaded right after this one gets uploaded. So yeah, so there won't be too big of a gap in between, and then yeah, we'll move on. Yeah, you see how it ends. Save clear, and then blah blah blah. It's like, what the hell? And then yeah, you can basically do New Game Plus. I believe it was. Yeah, you can do a New Game Plus. You can start a new game with certain data carried over, which is cool, interesting in a way. But yeah, I will end this off. Thank you for watching. Thanks for listening to me rant and talk over that. Be sure to like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the finale in the next video. Peace.